Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus. We are in Exodus chapter 12, and the Israelites are ready to leave Egypt. The Passover is complete. The final plague has struck the Egyptians hard. God has completed his deliverance of his people. Let's begin reading at verse 31 of chapter 12. Now during the night, this is the night of the Passover, the firstborn in each Egyptian household have perished. Right after this, there's great mourning, grieving, wailing through the land. During the night, Pharaoh summons Moses and Aaron and says, "Up, leave my people, you and the Israelites. Go and worship the Lord as you have requested. Take your flocks and your herds as you have said, and go. And also bless me." Notice what a change here. The Pharaoh who has continuously hardened his heart and said, "You will not take the people out. They will not go." Now he says, "Get out of here. Go, hurry, leave us. Go and worship the Lord as you have said. Take your possessions with you. Go." But also, notice how he closed this. Also, Pharaoh says, "Bless me." Did you notice that? Bless me. He has come to recognize that the God of the Israelites, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom Moses has been proclaiming, the Lord, Pharaoh now recognizes that he truly is the Lord. He is God. Now you remember we've talked about this before, but the plagues are really spiritual warfare against the so-called gods of the Egyptians, the gods they worship. The Lord has brought judgment on these so-called gods and has demonstrated to all the world that he and he alone is Lord. And Pharaoh recognizes this. And that's why he's saying, "Bless me, for your God is truly God." We all love the great movie with Charlton Heston, The 10 Commandments. And my favorite scene in that movie is after the Israelites have escaped across the Red Sea and the waters have closed upon the Egyptian army. Pharaoh returns to his capital, and his wife asked him if he kills Moses, and he indicates, "I could not." And she says, "You couldn't even kill him?" And then Yul Brynner, playing the part of Pharaoh, says, "His God is God. His God is God." I love that scene, and it's very theologically appropriate. And that really is what Pharaoh is saying here. When he says, "Bless me," he is saying, your God is God. I recognize that now. He has broken the back of my empire. Bless me in his name. The Israelites have been redeemed. They are ready to leave Egypt. Verse 33, the Egyptians urged the people to hurry and leave the country, for otherwise, they said, we will all die. Hurry, they said, please leave us, lest we all perish. So the people, that is the Israelites, took their dough before the yeast was added, the unleavened bread. They carried it on their shoulders. The Israelites did as Moses had instructed. They left Egypt. And we go down to verse 40. It's an interesting verse. It says, now the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. For over 4 centuries they had been in bondage in Egypt. But now they are going out, a redeemed, a liberated people. Notice verse 42. Because the Lord kept vigil that night to bring them out of Egypt. On this night, all the Israelites are to keep vigil to honor the Lord for all the generations to come. I love that verse. The Lord kept vigil. That is, he watched over Israel all through the night. He protected them as the angel of death had passed through the country. The blood on their doorpost was a sign they were protected. The angel passed over. The Lord kept vigil. You know, when we're God's people, we can trust that the Lord keeps vigil to watch over us. He never slumbers. He never sleeps, as the psalmist says. He keeps vigil. And we should always remember that. This is the great night of deliverance, the salvation event in the Old Testament. God has delivered his people. And so the Israelites leave Egypt behind as a free people. Amen and amen. In our next session, we'll look at what happens at the Red Sea. For Pharaoh is not quite done yet, though he should have been. But we'll look at that in our next session. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the book of the Exodus.